is representative of the Pnimi. Whom do you give respect to? Respect is a makif. But who is respected? One who has seichel, one who deserves it from koiches pnimim. That's how the respect comes. So this is called a makif hakorev. It is an expression of. It is a makif, the expression of his pnimius. You follow this? It's a makif, the expression of his pnimius. Pnimius in touch when he expresses his wisdom. And a makivdik expression of his pnimius is when he expresses it in a makivdik way, that he is a self-respecting person. Why is he a self-respecting person? Because he is on a higher, on a certain level in his koiches pnimi. But a dira is a totally different thing. A dira is a pshat, atzmus ha'odam dor v'hadira. There, it's not related to any of his koiches. It's related to the whole person, to him himself. And the comfort that a person seeks in a dira is not the comfort that's related to his occupation, say for instance. He is a scholar, he's a Rosh Yeshiva. His dira is not a yeshiva. His dira is his personal dwelling. Which means that the dira goes beyond his scholarship, goes beyond what his occupation is. It speaks about the person himself. Beyond any, what we call any giluyim, anything that is definitive, any functional aspect of the person. That's what the dira is. This is called atzmus ha'odam, the essence of the person. So similarly, since the expression in this mimer is HaKadosh Baruch Hu is le'dira b'tachtonim, so similarly l'mayla kaviyach. What is the inyan that the Eibishter wanted from the world? Sheyiyah bechinas atzmus ein soif. This is the concept of a dira, and this atzmus ein soif should be begilui b'tachtein, should be revealed elamat, begilu elamat. And as a matter of fact, as we shall see, that this inyan that it should be a dira and betachtonim, they're actually interdependent. You cannot have a dira at a higher level than tachtonim, because tachtonim is the place that do not represent, do not represent the inyan of Elokus, Ruchnius. This is why there it's possible to have mamash atzmus, just like by a person. That where is his etzem, he's in a house that's completely separate from him. Doesn't go with him wherever he goes.
Just a second ago you said that the concept of a person in his house is beyond Giloim, it's beyond application.
Mm-hmm.
Is there's no contradiction in terms when you say a Giloi of Atzmus?
Right. It's not a contradiction, because a Giloi of Atzmus corresponds to the union, the Gili of the person. In what way does a person act and live in his dira? He lives in his dira in totally unrestrained manner. He's not in a formal state. He is completely open with what he is. This means Atzmus is Begilui. When his Seichel is Begilui, it's a different level. It says Etzem is Begilui, means precisely that. That his person is comfortable there. Not his Seichel, not his Midas. This is just the beginning of the thing, and we should have a sense of where we're going. As he writes, this is a Kabbalah Sefer Avidas HaMelech, B'tchilos, right in the beginning. So he writes there, the Beriyas Ho'elameis Hoyo Alidei Hatzimtzum Horish, that the creation of the world came about as a result of Tzimtzum Horish, or through the first Tzimtzum, Shehoyo Be'er Ein Sof. Tzimtzum Horish, and the word Tzimtzum means to contract. But essentially it means to limit the revelation. To be metzamtzum, to limit the revelation, to what extent something is expressed. The Tzimtzum Horishein means the very first Tzimtzum, because there are, as we'll see, many levels of Tzimtzum. And then there is Tzimtzum Horishein. Just to explain briefly what is the many levels of Tzimtzumim and how is that, what is Tzimtzum Horishein referred to? A Tzimtzum means to limit. When is it necessary? For instance, what is, in our experience, what is the concept of a Tzimtzum? If you have been in a certain place, you've experienced a certain episode, you have personally witnessed something, some unusual occurrence. And then you come and you want to relate it to someone who has never seen such a thing. So you come to him and says, "Oh, I saw such and such." What is it that you saw? "Oh, it's something grandiose, something unusual." What is it? Unusual. You don't tell him anything. You can repeat yourself many times. As a matter of fact, when you visualize and you are actually involved in that experience itself, the only thing you can say, it was unusual. It was grand, it was bright, it was beautiful, whatever it is. Because you're completely taken in, you're actually experiencing the entire episode, the entire experience as one whole. And you're not transmitting anything. In order, if you want to even begin to explain what it is that you saw, the first, you have to be metzamtzem. And what does metzamtzem mean? You have to limit the experience that you have and start thinking in specific terms what in fact happened. What happened? And then, by thinking what happened, you can come to the conclusion that as a result of this happening, this is what the experience was. You can even express the experience, but first you have to tell them what happened. This is, in general, the concept of tzimtzum. Meaning that when you know the essence of something, and you want to express, to transmit that essence to someone else, you cannot transmit the whole essence. You have to break it down into little bits and in your mind formulate the order in which you're going to transmit, to express this in you. And after you say the whole thing, then the other person can reconstruct and get an idea. But you can't give him the whole thing at once. That's makes sense. In that process of tzimtzum, as we said, there are many levels of tzimtzum. In that process of tzimtzum, there is one, what's called Tzimtzum Harishin, one that is most categorical. In this illustration, this example that we spoke about, that you have experienced something and you want now the other person to know what you've experienced. What is the first thing you have to recognize in order to begin to formulate what you want to tell them? It isn't, if you begin to think in terms of what did I see, what did it look like, you're always going to be overwhelmed with the experience. What is the first thing you have to recognize? The first thing you have to recognize is that you are now talking, or at least you want to explain this occurrence to someone who has not seen it, who's completely oblivious to the whole thing, who has no idea what it is. That's the first thing. When you put yourself in that position, that here is someone who has not seen it, who doesn't know what it's all about, and now he is the one that you are communicating to, then you are capable of starting putting your view and your experience in perspective, so that it can be transmitted to someone who has never seen it. This is the concept of Tzimtzum Harishin. As long as you don't have this Tzimtzum Harishin, meaning that you are not speaking from a perspective, from a position of never seeing it. You're speaking from a position that you have seen it, but you are breaking down what you have seen. It's never going to happen. You're never going to be able to transmit it. It's never going to be a coherent and an explanation of what you have seen. Only if you put yourself in the position where looking at it from perspective of not seeing it, then you can begin to formulate it. At that moment, in order that it should be authentic, it should be real, at that moment, you actually have to forget completely what you have seen. It doesn't mean that you actually forget because it's embedded in your memory, in your experience. But from your mind, you have to completely enter it. I haven't seen it. Because as long as you are still involved in that experience, you cannot transmit it. You're going to begin from the middle instead of from the beginning. You're going to start from the middle and go to the end and go to the beginning. You're going to jump around. You're not going to give the whole thing. Did you ever observe a painter, an artist, putting together a small piece, whatever it is, a piece of art? If you ever observe it, it's an interesting thing. Those who are not artists are watching this and saying, why are you jumping around? He takes a piece of canvas, puts a little line over here, a little line over here, a little line over here, goes all over the place. And after a while, a picture begins to surface. So someone who's not an artist will say, I don't understand. Here's how you present it. You want to present a house? Start from here, make a line, start from some point and go on. You want to present a human being? A human being. Whenever you want to start from the head, make a face, make a form of make a semi-circle.